She's pissed. Jack shit. I'm just telling you.
Dear
She
Sally,
opened it anyway.
Tell the hospital and the funeral director that I'm to be interred in fact.
She's about to drop dead, isn't she? She's gonna drop dead.
Uncle William has the details from Grandpa. The blue chiffon I wore is my very favorite. A gold garment bag in the hall closet beside the mink.
Well, you've thought of everything, haven't you?
And the lipstick for my
She's
handbag.
gonna fucking drop dead.
And remind them how I like to wear my... Will you show them the picture?
I ain't showing them shit, man. You should have done this yourself.
I always worried about you. Because you marched to the beat of your own drum.
Also, you're an asshole. Just saying. That's right. Show her dropping dead, you cocksuckers.
I love you.
You know you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it off screen, have people react so we can see it and imply it, right? Dicks. I don't even like her, man. I really don't like her. I'm telling you, I don't like her. She's been the load on this fucking show. Wasting our goddamn time. Get out. You can walk from here. Dude, get out. Really?
Pink slips in the glove box.
Are you serious?
Don't waste this.
He's out of his fucking mind. The fuck is he doing? You didn't have to tell this son bitch twice, did you? I don't get it, man. I get it. No, I get it. But I don't get it. I get why he's doing it. I just would never fucking do it, man. Really? Man, they were reminding me of my dad every time they turn around. I'll tell you about that. Yeah, okay. Dad told me the story that when he was doing a tour over Vietnam, a lot of the people on the ship, I guess this song was popular back then. He did a tour in 65, 66, and 67. He did 3 tours. They'd be over there for like 9 months, come back for 3 months, and go back for another 9 months. Right? One of these tours, people would be singing this song because they wanted to finish the tour and get the fuck back home, right? Every day, it's getting closer. Hey, hey, hey. He said that would drive him up the fucking wall. He just wanted to slap these motherfuckers. They'd be singing it. They'd be walking down the corridor singing the song and shit. Yeah, he just pissed him the fuck off, man. Just drove him up the wall. I cannot hear this song without hearing Dad tell the story. Wow, what a bizarre penultimate episode. Bizarre in a good way. In a good way. Like, completely unexpected, off the wall, just like this entire series is unexpected and off the wall. You can't expect any of this shit, man. Like, you can't predict any of this shit. But speaking of predictions, I'll do that next episode. Well, I'm recording this months after what you just saw. A lot of months, I think about 6 months probably. And I'm going through the editing, and it's always taking forever. And I'm not gonna make excuses for how long. Obviously, like, it's stupid that it took this long to finish the series out. It's just been a few episodes, but there are factors. There are reasons, not excuses. And one of the reasons is YouTube just started blocking it. It was just so frustrating to do 4 or 5 or 6 edits to finally get it in. And I don't have a lot of time. I have a lot of demands on my time. I'm trying to earn a little bit of money here, taking side jobs. I just don't have a lot of time. And it just wasn't, the return on investment of how much time it took to get one of these episodes out wasn't worth the delay and all the other things. Like, I was literally losing patrons because I wasn't getting their... They do like they sponsor monthly reactions that they pay me for, and I wasn't getting them out on time, and I was literally losing patrons for that. And so that's a reason. It's not an excuse. Another reason was it just I hate ending shows that I truly love. I think I've told the story before. There's an episode of Sliders I've never seen because I don't want it to be over. It's been 20 years, man. Let it go. But I can't do it. I can't watch that episode. This has forced me to finish some things. I suffered this with Bojack Horseman. I suffered this with The Sopranos. The shows I truly, truly love. The deadlines force me to do it. Like on Patreon, there's deadlines. It has to be this day. They're paying me for it to be this day. Not really being paid here on YouTube. And so that's just a motivating factor. And the other reason is, of course, I've literally been... I've obviously been shadow banned by YouTube. You know, nothing I get's being promoted. You know, and it's because of the drunk reactions, and I drink and I cuss, I say the dirty words, and you know, I can never be monetized over here on this channel. That's why I put so much energy in the anime channel. But anyway, here we are finishing it. I'm After I record what I'm about to say here, I'm going to actually watch the very final episode now, like 6 months after I watch these episodes. And I'm going to be getting the edit out in a couple weeks. I'm devoting some time to it, and then that'll be it. And the show will be over, and I'll be sad. But hopefully, they stick the landing. I haven't really heard anybody say that the ending was terrible. I have heard people. I know that there's mixed reviews on the ending. Not everybody likes it, but it's not one of those things like Dexter or Battlestar Galactica where everybody hates it. Right? It's not Game of Thrones, so I feel pretty good about that part of it. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting day. I'm actually going to react to a couple scenes from this that I feel like got their due course in my original reaction. And as I was editing, I was like, well, I wish I could have said this, or I wish I would have said that. So that's just going to be kind of like a bonus, you know. So if you just want to push on to the next episode, feel free, because this is a second reaction. But there's just some things I wanted to mention here that I really, really liked upon watching it again, right? Before we do that, though, I don't want to burden the final episode with this conversation, because I kind of talked about Sally here. I think this is probably going to be Sally's last episode. I think she'll be dead before the next episode, the final episode. And a lot of that will be people dealing with it. Maybe be like enough of a time jump that maybe they're over the worst of their grief, and there'll just be the hole that's missing in people's lives. I think that's what they're doing. That's what it feels like. It feels like she walked off screen. She was living her life. She had her own agency. She was doing what she wanted to do on her own terms, no matter what anybody said or thought. And that's the way you end that character. But man, they did not know what to do with this fucking character from seasons 3 through 6. They didn't know what the hell they wanted to do with this character. Even the earlier seasons, the stuff with Wiener's son was weird. What's his name? I don't know his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Weird kid. I don't know what was going on there, but like once her and Don got divorced, like she just didn't need to be in the show anymore. And it's kind of there is a metaphorical. There's something that's interesting about it metaphorically, because here's the thing: if you don't have children with somebody and you divorce them, you never have to see them again. I haven't seen my wife in years now. Yeah, because we're divorced. I guess that's to say ex-wife. I haven't seen my ex-wife in years because we're divorced. So we don't have children, so there's no reason to interact with her ever. There's no reason. I don't know where she lives now. I have no idea, right? But when you have children with somebody, you can't do that. You always know where they live. You always know how to get in touch with them, because there's decisions you have to make together. You're tied to the person. Don had children with this woman. She's always going to be part of his life, which means she's always going to be part of the show. Even though she doesn't fit in his life anymore. She hasn't fit in his life in 3 or 4 seasons. So that is actually some fridge brilliance. That's actually pretty smart that she's hanging on pointlessly, uselessly in this series because he shares children with her, and we still want stories with his kids, of course. Yeah, obviously. And I do like that they got closure a couple episodes ago. I think that was important and necessary that they ended things. Before she died, they made peace, complete and total peace. That was good. But I just feel like there was a more elegant way to handle it. I don't think they knew what they wanted to do. Like, you don't want to let them out of their contracts, because then if you want to bring them back as a guest star, you can't do it. So if you got him as a regular, and I assume she was paid for a regular throughout the course, then she had to be in a certain number of episodes to justify the expense, which means they had to give her some stupid ass plot lines. You know, just none of it was interesting. I'm curious what other people think. Let me know what you think. Like, to me, it just didn't work. They never found out what they wanted to do with her until this story. This storyline was great. This was good. This was a brilliant episode. I went back, and before I recorded this, I rewatched all the scenes, not even in editing, because I've also been editing today. But I just went back and just watched every scene she was in, every scene Sally was in this whole episode. Great stuff. Really, really good stuff. And there was a previous episode, I don't remember which one now, but it's one of the ones I've edited within the past 3 or 4 months. She was getting that episode. Before that, the last time she was any good she was doing that thing with the horse racing. And I think she either had an affair or she almost had an affair. Or was it that she broke up another woman? No, she set up another woman to have an affair with that horse racing guy, and then she broke him up or something. Like, I don't remember the details now. It was about a year ago, probably, when I watched that. But that was the last interesting story. And what was that, season 3? Probably. So, just doesn't work for me. Just, yeah, so at least they ended well with her character. Even though they're wasting our time, a lot of screen time is wasted. It could have been devoted to people we actually care about. Damn shame. But hey, if we're gonna do an autopsy of the show, that's my autopsy of her character. Too soon? Yeah, considering the fact she's probably dead. Anyway, let's go into this. I really love this moment here. Sally thinks she's coming in to hug her, and she just blows past her. I love that. That's such a subtle, physical acting moment. Look at her face. The two respective face covered, but look at Sally's face as Betty goes by. She moves into because she thinks there's going to be a hug, and there isn't.
Betty.
I just love that so much. It's such a small thing. I'm sure it was directed. I'm sure the director with the blocking and everything. But let's do that one more time. Because I just, the hardest thing to do with actors is to show a lack of anticipation. Or to show anticipation. For instance, if in the scene, after I say the dog ran out of the house, you slap me in the face, a bad actor or a mediocre actor, not even bad actor, just a mediocre actor, after they say the dog slapped me in the face, they're going to tighten up their face. Maybe it'd be something. Maybe something like that. Or maybe they'll close their eyes. Or they'll tense up their shoulders. Because they know a slap's coming. But the character in the scene doesn't know the slap's coming because this is the first time they're going through it. That's what you need there is a lack of anticipation. You can't show anticipation for what's about to happen. This is the opposite. She's anticipating something that's going to happen that didn't happen. I wish we had the whole wide shot from Betty all the way back here, right? But this is good enough. I just love this right here. One of the things I love about the most, watch how Sally is maintaining eye contact the entire time. She's mad dogging Betty's face. Look at this. She's coming in, she's starting to raise her hands a little bit. And I think right here is just about the moment she realizes, we ain't getting no hug, bitch. It's kind of like in The Simpsons, where it's like, we can actually freeze from the exact moment you get your heart broken. And it looks like if Sally doesn't back up in that moment, she's going to get shoulder checked right in the face. That is just cold. That is so good, man. And here's the thing. You can see her face here. Think about this. If you see this face coming towards you, you should not be expecting a hug. This is the face of somebody who is furious. You'd be more likely to be expecting a knee in the groin or a slap in the face. So it's interesting that still Sally's so wrapped up in her grief, pre-grief, nothing's even happened yet. She's just potentially grieving for the future, that she's not reading the signals correctly. I just love that. Man, that was good. I can't believe I missed it in the original reaction. I was talking about the other shit, making jokes and stuff. It's fine. That's what I do, right? I sometimes get annoyed with myself in editing, but most of the time it's like I know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have fun. We're trying to modify, transform the material. That's why we're trying to hide behind fair use in the first place. If we're not transforming the material, if we're just sitting there watching it and not saying anything, you're not transforming shit. You should be struck down, copyright struck. We're trying to transform the material. That's what I do when I'm joking. But my best moments, I believe, are when I recognize something truly nice that I should bring up. And in that moment, I didn't recognize that. That's why I wanted to come back to it. And in this particular scene, I was just outraged by what she was asking of her daughter. I wasn't making jokes at this point. I was just emotional. Like, I was outraged. I was trying to imagine myself being this age and having this put upon me. I think it's ridiculous that Betty asked this of her. She has a grown-ass fucking husband. And she's going to put this on her, 15-year-old daughter? 16? Come on, man. Even if she was 20, you have a grown-ass husband. He's not a baby. You shouldn't infantilize him like this. So I was pissed off. So I couldn't truly appreciate what was happening here. So that's why we're going to go through this again.
Did I wake you? No.
I think it's interesting she waited till this late. Was she waiting for her husband to be asleep so he wouldn't overhear her come in? That's an interesting question, isn't it?
Henry shouldn't have scared you.
Trying to minimize it.
I wanted to tell you myself. He doesn't know you won't get treatment because you love the tragedy.
That's such a great moment. I love that line.
People when they tell you it's over. I don't want to say it.
She's
So
pissed.
it's usually, I'll be with you. I won't let you give up. I know that.
This is one of the best moments these two had in this entire series. True, even though she had that scathing, that savage burn to start the conversation. Even though she had that savage burn to start the conversation, man, it's just so good. Watch Sally's face here, and then watch Betty's face as she processes, I'll be there with you.
I'll be with you. I won't let you give up. I know that.
Watch Betty's face after she says, I won't let you give up. She takes a moment. She takes a beat to process it. And then I think it dawns on her that this may be the first time in their lives together that her daughter would truly be there for her. Because, it's not a kid's job to comfort a parent. You shouldn't have a parent, as I did and as many people did, crying on the couch when you're 11 years old and you have to come over there and comfort your mother. Like, that's not your job. You're not supposed to do that. So she's probably never asked that of Sally. And they clashed so much they wouldn't accept it from each other anyway. In this moment, she's truly accepting it.
Let you give up.
Look at that.
I know that.
That's so good.
But I watched my mother die.
I love it when actors are thinking, truly thinking before they say their lines. This is the divide between a mediocre actor and a fantastic actor. A mediocre actor will just move to the next line. A fantastic actor will sit there and think and then deliver the next line. And you can see her do this. Watch her transition from I know that to but I watched my mother die. Just watch her face for this. Just truly spectacular stuff. These are the subtle things that people are obsessed with filmmaking do.
I fought for plenty in my life. That's how I know when it's over.
That's just sad, man.
It's been a gift to me.
It really is.
When to move on.
It's just, it sounds suicidal to me. I think people reach that point. But what's interesting about this, people reach that point after they've been struggling with disease. Like my mom, the second time she got cancer, reached that point. She fought cancer and got not a relapse, whatever that is, where it goes away for a little while. It's not cured, but it's not as bad anymore. She got that 3 or 4 years before she died, had another good couple of years, and then it came back even stronger than ever. And that's when she just didn't want to fight it again. That hasn't happened with Betty. Like, what has been so terrible in her life that she's just ready to quit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, relatively speaking, that we've seen on the show, she hasn't had a whole lot of really bad things happen to her. Like, obviously her husband cheated on her. She dumped his ass. She lost her father. But there are people who have lost children who somehow find a way to soldier on and haven't given up. So, I just think she was never truly happy. I think that, she was never truly miserable. But miserable is not the only reason why people give up. Sometimes people give up because they're just never happy. And I think that's been her biggest problem. She's never been truly happy. She's never been truly ecstatic. She's been saddled with these fucking kids for her entire adult life, pretty much. Never felt loved by her husband. In the very first season, she was seeing a therapist, and here this is about, 11 years, 12 years later after that? So, yeah, it's sad. It really is. This is a sad ending. I think they try to make it semi-optimistic, semi-motivational. She goes out on her own terms. At least we can be happy she's going out on her own terms. I just think it sucks. I think it's sad. Is what I think. Then they go into the instructions and stuff, right? But I just wanted to highlight a couple moments to put a button on this episode and talk more about it from a perspective removed from a couple months of having seen this for the first time. And now I'm going to go watch the finale. Holy shit, I can't believe we're here.